Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Academy Talk Radio. This is the Ask a Medium radio show. I am your host, Reverend Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium, coming to you from the Ivy League Psychic Academy here in Buffalo, New York. And I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Teresa Matuzak. How are you, Tree?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm very good. And Amanda Friedman. How are you?
Great. How are you?
We are doing pretty good here. We have an interesting show lined up for you tonight. I am going to create a psychic roundtable here with my beautiful co-host. We're going to be taking your questions all hour. What is the phone number so they can call in?
Guests can call at 646-668-2353. Again, that's 646-668-2353.
Okay, excellent. If you guys are looking to book a reading with me, I did a little adjustment to my website, so you can find me at Rivera Psychic Medium.com. I added the REV to the beginning of it. I know a lot of people have been having problems with that this week. Should be up and running in Google any minute now. I am running a sale right now, an annual summer sale, 50% off on the second reading, so check that out. We are doing some expansion here with Ivy League Psychic Academy. We're moving into franchising. Super exciting. Yay. Okay, so if you are interested in opening up your own Ivy League Psychic Academy, you may want to contact us about that and start taking some classes here to get that up and running. So it's pretty awesome. We're looking at California, we're looking at Pennsylvania, and a couple more here in the Buffalo area. I will also be opening up a second location in Niagara Falls here any minute now, so expansion's going well. We do have a couple classes coming up that I want to mention. First and foremost, okay, always level 1 psychic mediumship development class starts July 6th. Okay, you can find more information on any of the classes at ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. We also have a psychic kid fair. Now, this is for any children. Mm-hmm. We don't believe that this is a gift. We know that everybody has these abilities. And there are some children that are a little bit more sensitive than others, okay? So it's a psychic kid fair, and we are doing that, let me see, August 5th. Mm-hmm. Okay, so check that out. And we're looking at ages 6 to 14, but if you have a little one that can manage to sit still, I've had them as small as 3 and 4, and they really do love it. It's great for them to be in the environment of other kids and embrace their abilities. We also have Silo City Psychic Fair coming up September 23rd, and I am looking for vendors at this time. You guys can find me on Facebook for that if you want at Ivy Rivera. We also have animal communication class coming up, astrology class, whole bunch of other things, free animal Reiki day. At the end of this month, we have communicating with your angels. So check out Coffee with Your Angels. You guys can Skype in from anywhere in the world to join us if you can't be here in Buffalo. Okay, now I know we have some callers waiting, okay, but I want to get into the topic before we start taking them. First things first, I want to talk to you guys about your own development. I want to hear more about how you knew that you had something different going on with your supposed gifts. Okay, how old were you when you started to realize maybe you were a little bit different, Amanda?
I was probably... I want to say maybe around 8 or so when it started. We didn't have any kids on my street growing up, and sometimes my siblings didn't want to go outside with me, so I would remember just sitting outside and talking and like a crazy person, asking questions. I was kind of raised Catholic, so I would guide them towards God or towards, my deceased loved ones. Even as young as 8 years old, I still would sit out there and pray, for silly things like, oh, I want a puppy, please bring me a puppy. So yeah, I'd be the weird kid sitting outside talking to myself on my street, and the neighbors would be like, oh, there's that weird girl again.
Did you think of them as your imaginary friends, or did you understand the difference between an imaginary friend and a spirit loved one?
No, I had no idea.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Very cool. What about you, Tree?
Yeah, pretty much the same. For me, I was about 5 or 6, I would say, when I first started seeing, I would say, spirits. I would go to my great aunt's house where she would watch me frequently, and there was a lady that used to travel from upstairs and downstairs, and I would always see her, and I never really questioned anything. It was kind of just there. I just thought it was normal, I guess, at that age. I don't know, but I would do the same thing, like what Amanda was saying too, is my siblings sometimes didn't want to play with me either, and the age range of kids on our street, they were either 5 years younger, 5 years older than you. So I was kind of a loner from a very young age, even though I had siblings and I loved them dearly. But sit outside, sing to myself, dance, talk to myself.
I enjoyed my own space too. I really actually had a lot of problems being around other people. Still do, but now I can manage it a little bit better. And I really had wished that someone was teaching me that this is what was going on with me. When I would be around more than 2 other people, I would start to have meltdowns, emotional, mental, even physical. And the energy was just overstimulation because I was so hypersensitive to other people's energy, as well as the energy of objects and atmosphere. With me too, my grandmother had a stroke and was stuck in a hospital bed for over 25 years, and she couldn't move, talk, feed herself, nothing. I learned telepathy from her. So when I was little, 3, 4, 5 years old, I was able to hear the thoughts of other people. And that became a bit of a problem too, overwhelming, not sure what was mine, not sure what belonged to others. And that really is the key to all of this, isn't it? Understanding what is yours and what is coming from an outside source. Absolutely. And then we want to look at more, which source is that coming from? That's where discernment comes in, and we can start pinpointing what's going on. And then my grandparents actually passed when I was 5 and 6 years old. So I was able to communicate with them on the other side, and then it got really interesting. So, okay, well, this is cool. So we're going to be talking throughout the show. You guys feel free to call in with questions about your own development, okay, or any other personal questions for us. But you can also call in lost object, paranormal, psychic, mediumistic, whatever your question is. And we're going to start taking a couple callers now before we get back on topic. Sure, let's take one. Hello, caller, are you there?
I'm here. This is Donna. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Where are you calling from, and what's your question?
I'm from California, and I wanted to know about a relationship. If there's one coming in for me, I'd like to get married at some point in my life. That's what I'm aiming toward.
Okay, let's see. If there is a relationship coming in here from Donna, and you have the whole psychic roundtable tonight. So you guys just jump in. Whatever. Whoever. Okay, I am getting somebody coming in. It feels like about 2 months out. I'm almost feeling like a month and a half out. I see this person coming forward. However, where he is right now, he's working out a couple different decisions that have a lot to do with his free will. So you could say that the power on time clock with this is more in his control. So he could make decisions to clear and rid some things out of his life that would bring him to your closer. Or he could take longer on that. And so it's a little bit debatable. It could take as long as 6 to 7 months, but it looks like it could be near here. And I think a lot of what he's dealing with has to do with work and money, letting some things go. He's a little bit of, I almost want to say, we talk about square type personalities, people who like to have all their ducks in a row. He's a bit of a procrastinator, and he holds on to things from his past that have made him comfortable, and he's going to have to step out of that before you can actually have him, so to speak.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Ivy. I was getting more like a 3-month mark, but that could be, him working through everything like that. I am seeing a man, lighter hair, kind of gray, and then lighter eyes, probably around, like the blue shade. I want to say around 6 feet tall, too. I keep getting that number. But he does feel very supportive of what you want to do in life. I see, you guys like traveling together. He feels like a really good companion. Yeah. He feels like a really good companion. Like I keep seeing like sailing and boats and things like that. So I feel like out on the water a lot.
Anything different to add, or?
Honestly, I'm right there, 2-3, the hair, everything. But the only other thing I was seeing is that even though I see him being supportive, I also see him very involved with himself and what he's doing and everything else that's going on. So basically what I want to say here is to be mindful of what you want to do, but also be mindful of what he wants to do, and find a good way to really bring those two together instead of me, and I.
Very good. Good luck with this. Many blessings. Looks exciting.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thanks.
I'm excited about it. Thank you.
Awesome. Keep us posted, Donna. Thank you very much. Take care.
I will. Thank you. Take care.
We have another caller? Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi.
Hi. How are you tonight?
Good, thank you.
Good. What's your name and what is your question?
My name is Fernanda, and my question is, I'm currently going through a divorce, but at one time I didn't see any signs of reconciliation, but now he's been sending me messages, mixed messages, so I'm confused. So I'm wondering if you see any reconciliation in the future.
Okay. Well, the first thing that I'm getting is maternal and paternal energy coming through from the other side. Okay, so I would say like mom and dad energy coming through, watching over you. If your mother and father were to still be here, then I would be going with grandmother and grandfather, but it felt literally like mom and dad. So I want to say that I have them coming through. Okay, just especially them with grandma shaking her head. I don't think so. Not seeing it, not feeling it. She's pretty straightforward about this. Brick walls going up. Over here to the future, and I think that it would be very wise for you to dot your I's and cross your T's. I think that this is a person who looks to see what he can get out of you, and that when he realizes that maybe life isn't quite as pleasant and he's not pulling things off on his own, he's coming back to get another serving of what he needs for himself. You guys getting anything?
Pretty much the same thing. But one thing I keep hearing repeated, and I think this is grandma, that's coming through, she's hearing mess, what a mess. Messes are made. Messes need to be left where they are if you can't clean them up. So I would say it's really just go forward. And I feel like these texts that he's sending, I think it's more him having insecurities and him having issues of whatever, of not letting go and so forth. So I would say your best bet really is to just move forward.
Mandy, you getting anything different?
Pretty much along the same lines. It just feels like him wanting more of a sense of control, and I feel like that's why he's reaching back out to you. Again, I just keep hearing the word toxic. I just feel like there's nothing beneficial in, maintaining ties with him. I feel like it's just better just to cut the cords and kind of move on.
Okay. Many blessings with that. You're much stronger on your own. Let's put it that way. Okay. Thank you so much for your call. Okay. Take care.
Yeah, bye-bye.
I do want to take a question here from, it looks like it was texted in from a Danielle. Where is my business going? I own a fitness studio. Had to fire 3 trainers that have been with me for over 5 years. They were plotting against me and opening up their own studio behind my back, and I found out. They have taken a ton of clients, have been extremely hateful and nasty through social media. I had plans to expand, have been searching for a larger building. I'm feeling extremely defeated and need some direction. Danielle, I feel for you in your situation there. I want to say that the first thing that I'm getting when I'm looking at this is that it's better off. It's better off this way. It had to come to light. I don't think you'll ever find yourself in this situation again, so I wouldn't let it rattle you from continuing on with business ownership in any way. I do think keep your circle smaller. I'm feeling like no more than 3 people ever sort of in your immediate circle there. Always have watchdogs looking out for things like this as you go forward. A lot of the client base that was lifted will return. Okay, let's not say a lot of it, but a quarter of the client base that was lifted will return, and they will be cheating up against each other and falling on their faces any day now. So enjoy the karma show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
what do
really.
you guys get?
It's rough. Wow, that energy just kind of hit me, and I feel
Yeah.
completely depleted right now. But yeah, it's going to be rough. It's going to be some hard work, but I do see it bouncing back. I'm seeing possibly 6 to 8 months out from this point forward. Like, there's a lot with you too. Like, you don't want to harbor a whole lot of emotions and animosity towards this, because I do see somebody with lighter hair, blonde hair, maybe darker in the medium, like maybe hazel to brown colored eyes, that is going to really come in and almost be like your saving grace. But I feel like the beginning, there's going to be some resistance because you're going to have fear as to whether or not this is going to happen again. But I feel like, honestly, it's going to be better. Just really, just like Ivy said, watch your circle, keep it close, but don't really push too hard.
We have about 4 psychic interns sitting behind the table learning how to run the radio show right now. Are we all in agreement? Because I see many heads bobbing.
I'm not even looking that way.
They're just all bobbing at different times. Amanda, what are you getting?
Yeah, no, I agree with everything. I do see 4 potential people coming for this, to fill in the positions, though. I want to say you do have a very strong gut instinct. You are very good at reading people. So I just want to say take the time. Even, like quick, quiet meditation, like after you interview them, I just want to say you will get the right people for this position. You're definitely better off without the other ones. Mm-hmm. And I do agree, a lot of prosperity picking up, but it could take about 6 months, before you work through that emotional baggage tied to, the hurt that those last people caused you. Mm-hmm. So just take some time and really, trust your gut, but also, make sure you sort it out first before you definitely hire more people.
We are sending you love and blessings, and I most certainly understand. I've had it happen to me 8 different times. I'm a little slow on the learning. So, thank you for your question, Danielle. Now, I do want to get to one more before we get back onto topic, and this one actually came in from
a Sue. So Sue would like to know if she is supposed to start looking for a different place to live, get rid of the house, cut ties, and move forward.
I feel like soon.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good about it. It's been coming up for a while, and I'm okay with that. But at this point, it feels like it's actually going to be more in motion, and it will become more obvious. So I'm seeing light being shown on the different options that you have going forward, whereas in the past, all the glitters is not gold. You may have been looking at something and then you were like, it just didn't, it just kept falling through and something felt off about it. So this seems to be in alignment with what the universe, God also wants for you. So I do feel it working, a lot of expansion, and I feel you actually being more free afterward. Mm-hmm. So it seems to open up the doors of possibility for future travel and even other locations that you might want to live in long term.
Yeah, I kind of feel it's one of those situations where when the time is right, it's actually going to happen, even though it's starting to feel kind of more towards that direction. But there's a bit of hang up there. Like it's a lot of questioning, but a lot of the times I look at it too, like if I'm questioning it an awful lot, it probably means that it really needs to start to happen. So I'm kind of seeing it that it's going to be maybe a year out.
Okay, that's what I'm getting too. But I'm getting motion in between the 6th and the 7th month.
Yeah, I'm getting 6 to 8.
Yeah, that's where it starts to go, and then getting it more, signing the papers and things like that.
In a year, the actual movement. Yeah.
Perfect. So you can't read this because you happen to know this person.
I do want to say though, I'm getting, and this is kind of difficult because I kind of actually know who this is because I've gotten him before, but it's a very tall, fluffy-haired gentleman who's just laughing and goes, again? So I don't know if this is something that took place once before, and it's like, again? Mm-hmm. So, but he's just giving a whole lot of love to you and says that you're smart. You know when it's right, so
good.
Go ahead.
Fabulous. Okay, so enjoy that move, Sue. I do want to get back on topic. You guys can keep calling in. We're going to get to as many callers as we can. I do want to say real quick, if you have a one question, we have a one question email read, okay? So Rivera Psychic Medium.com. You can submit that there if I don't get to you. So we're talking about where we were with our development intuitively as children and what that started to look like for us. And the three of us are similar in some ways and a little bit different in where we were. My curiosity here with you guys is, how did your parents respond, teachers at school, other adults? How did they react to you? Were they supportive? Was this positive or negative?
My parents were really supportive, actually. They would sit down and watch ghost shows with me, and they were really into it. We even took a trip to Salem, pretty much all based on my interests, when I was 12 or 13. So I was lucky. They were really supportive.
I was kind of looked at as the odd child. This is why I'm laughing, because it's I had nuns. I went to a Catholic school and everything, so I had a couple nuns as teachers, my parents' family. I stayed to myself a lot. I could always tell by looking at somebody what the immediate intent could be with some things. I wouldn't want to play with certain kids, wouldn't want to look at certain adults and so forth. So through school, everybody kind of learned, let Teresa do whatever Teresa's going to do. She's not causing a lot of havoc, so just let her go. But my mom was funny because my mom grew up with a haunted home all kinds of things like that. So we watch things frequently, like poltergeist and all kinds of stuff. So even though this was never spoke about or talked about a whole ton growing up, I just knew I was different, but I just kind of knew in the back of my mind, just go with whatever it is because it's my normal.
And it's so fantastic that we have these outlets, even if it is just a ghost show, okay, or some kind of dialogue going on between the parents talking about, oh, the house was haunted, or Grandma used to tell this story about how, Grandpa would come and visit her, and things like this make the atmosphere more open for a child who's experiencing this, because they may not hear that anywhere else. Yeah. And every other time it comes out in public, they could be hearing words like crazy or bad or demonic and, things like this associated with whatever intuitive experience they're having. So it helps you guys, as parents and educators and things, to be kind of open. Even talking about things like dream analysis. I always love when an adult is open enough to talk about, oh, I had this dream. It's sort of the gateway into everything else that's socially acceptable. When I was a kid, we had relocated from Savannah, Georgia, right outside of Lilydale. And I also went to Catholic school, so I had that experience going on. But my family were Taino Arawak, and we have some history here with believing, both sides of my family, actually. So my family members would be going in and out of Lilydale, the largest spiritualist community in the world, getting readings from mediums, and then telling me not to talk about it at school. I was supposed to hide the experiences that I was having. So I was a little confused, but I think it was that encouragement of watching them get peace and healing from going and getting readings and from hearing all the ghost stories and what worked for them in their personal lives that made me not care what the judgment was going to be. And it was so strong with me anyways that it was incredibly uncomfortable to deny it. Okay, so I think we need to be realistic about our kids and where they are with their abilities, that denying it can make them sick and uncomfortable.
I think, too, for myself as well, is even though this wasn't, talked about, I do want to say that I would overhear, I was a very observant child, and I would overhear conversations.
AKA nosy, hiding under the table,
exactly,
hiding behind the
curtains,
walls,
the closet,
eavesdropping.
pantry.
Oh, right, so you overheard.
I overheard, with air quotes, conversations about how a great-great-aunt used to read tea leaves, and about how, I call them the aunts, because aunts and grandmothers would burn sweetgrass or the palms that you would get from church after Easter for protection on the home and all this other stuff. So even though it was never anything talked to directly to me or around me, I always knew there was something else, And anytime my mom would catch me around the corner, she'd be like, "Come here," and I would just sit there. And then she's like, don't talk about this.
Yeah, don't talk about this at school. I had one friend who had in her house a Buddha room. And my friend from Catholic school, and I would go into her Buddha room, and there was nothing in there but shag rug, and a million Buddhas. And I was like, what the heck is this? And she was like, no, just don't. Never. Never admit this exists. And I'd be like, what is it? And she'd say, my mom sits in here. And her mother would wear these, muumuus all the time. And she was this awesome lady. And just very peaceful people. But I also had the aunts. I would say that it was aunt talk, and they would smoke their cigarettes and drink pots of coffee while they listened to these recordings from Lilydale mediums, and I'd hide under the table, and we'd steal the tapes, me and my cousins. So, yeah, anything you can, offer to not only children, but, your fellow people here, that you're open to the discussion, helps with the advancement and the ease of all of this, because it needs to be part of our dialogue. Now, I know we have a few more callers here waiting, and I have a bunch of questions here. Do we want to move on to questions?
Sure.
Ready? Okay.
We're grooving.
Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yes. Hi. My name is Suzanne.
Hi, Suzanne. How are you?
Good. My question is, do you see my son moving back in with me, and if so, when?
I feel the potential for this to happen. I also feel like it may have already happened once or something like this. It feels a bit like a repetitive motion. What are you guys
he used to live with me up until 5th grade. He's going into 11th. He was with his dad now.
Okay. I do see it potentially happening. I do feel like there are some other things that need to get worked out, though. Okay, it almost feels like a lot of resistance coming in and a lot of back and forth energy. What are you guys getting with this?
Pretty much the same thing. I'm also seeing there's going to be I don't know if it's talk or I don't want to say turmoil, but there's something within the next 4 to 6 months that's just kind of swirling around. It kind of needs to come to a head. So I think it's kind of like what you were saying, like the resistance and stuff like that. It's like I think that
very soon too,
yeah.
even like days and weeks also. So yeah.
But I see him like every other week and kind of a couple of days, but he goes to school and lives with his dad. We're an hour away from each other.
Right. The resistance is going to come
I meant like go to school where I live and stuff.
Right. The resistance is going to come more possibly also from father figure son activity.
Right. Correct. Yes.
But you see him asking to live with me, you're saying?
I see it coming up, and then I see it deflating. And then I see it probably happening. But it also feels like it could potentially be short term. So there seems to be a lot going on with it. I would say it this way. I think the best energy for you to have in regards to this is to stay open to what is going to be best for everybody so that there isn't a lot of struggle. And whenever you start to see a lot of resistance in this, where your son is concerned, if he is unsure or he's going back and forth, let him do his thing. That's how I feel about it. Let him go with his own intuition on it. And then I think things will move ahead easier. You getting anything different?
I was getting pretty much the same thing. I want to say like a 3 to 6 month period of back and forth. I feel like your son is actually kind of confused, like what direction he wants to go in. So I think he really needs to take some time himself and sort it out. Again, I agree with Ivy and Tree. I'm feeling, the resistance, from the father figure. But I say ultimately, like Ivy said, trust your son, let him figure it out because it feels like he has this inner battle going on. He doesn't want to kind of choose what parent to live with.
And then he does, and he does want to come. And that's when it feels like it's going to be a little more clear cut. Going forward. Okay, so just hold on.
I don't mean to go on and on, but the thing is, like, he's going into 11th grade, so he's been at the school, well, his dad, who was with me, then he's been at the dad's school since 5th grade, so he only has 11th and 12th. I would love him to come back in 11th and 12th, but I'm just wondering why he would all of a sudden want to come back to live with me. I want him to, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, just let it go where it needs to go. Just let it go. It'll go back and forth, and then it will go in your direction. And I think that's great. So you just be open. Oh,
so you like September when school starts again or something?
I'm going to say give it about 8 months to work its way out. Yeah.
Oh, wow, because then he'll be like in 11th grade.
Okay. Yeah. So whatever it is. Thank you so much for your call. Many blessings, okay? And manifest what it is that you want from the universe, law of attraction. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so
All
much.
Right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, we're going to take another caller here. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you. Where are you calling from, and what's your question?
Yes, I'm calling from Arizona, and my question is, I'm in transition in my career. Any insight or clarity surrounding that?
Okay, I'm feeling like over here to the past 3 months. I'm feeling like a stop and start. You were feeling almost like things weren't going, or flowing in exactly the direction that you wanted them to be. And then I'm feeling you investing for a fairly significant period of time in a transition, about 4 months, that you would be putting into that. And then I feel 2 breakthroughs coming up over here to the future. And it feels like they could be as soon as within the next 2 weeks. So I do think you need to watch your surroundings for all opportunities. It seems like you might need to look outside of where you are, outside of where you've been working, because I see something coming up that would almost be like in a newspaper, on Craigslist, or I heard of this job. It seems to be outside of you in a bigger building, which is also going to represent a lot of prosperity, not hitting the glass ceiling too soon.
I have several of your spirit guides stepping forward, and they just want to emphasize how important it is to find what makes you happy. They really want you to focus on, not on the paycheck, not on anything like that, but really what will truly make you happy, and that will continue to bring in the prosperity and the promotions and everything financial to support you.
It's kind of funny you said. I started almost giggling because, I have your worker guide here. And he's
my worker guide?
Adamant.
Okay.
Yes, your worker guide, very adamant. I almost see him tucking stones in your pocket, to bring you luck and prosperity. And I keep hearing, she's ready, stop. So basically what he's saying here is stop questioning everything. And it feels like you are ready to move forward and you're ready to take that leap and everything else. And you just, when the moment hits, just go, don't question, because I feel like it is there, it is lined up.
Know your power,
Yeah,
okay? Know your power in management and leading a team, but also try not to seem anxious and don't overspeak.
Okay.
Okay? As you go forward. Yep. Keep it quiet. Okay. Power is in choice of words and timing. Okay? And who you're around. Be careful on that. Okay, thank you so much. Many blessings.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Take care. We're going to take one more call, and we're going to talk for a minute, and then we'll go to some more. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, hello. My name is Dee, and I'm calling from Maine.
Okay, great. Thanks.
My question is, I've been in contact with an old boyfriend. I'd like to know how you see it going.
Oh, boy. Well, so it seems to be good for a while, and then rough waters again. This person has an incredibly, I almost want to say like static personality. There is a pattern. There's a pattern in character and behavior here. So once you knew him, you always knew him, and you would expect to see the same things spit out again and again and again. This person feels to me like a little bit of a free lover. Not that that's a crime, but a little bit like, I'm all over the place. This is going to be super fun. It may really resonate with you in a lot of ways because I think there is soulmate connection. I think there is past life connection. Okay, I'm going to recommend a class that we have here called Relationships, Boundaries, and Cord Cutting. Okay, sometimes when we feel overly drawn to someone and we can't seem to get them out of our energy and they keep resurrecting throughout our lives, it's because we do have past life connection or something bigger. But it doesn't always mean that it's working in this life, and I don't know that he's incredibly motivated to make that happen, whereas you seem to be a little bit more emotional, okay, and you're feeling it on a little bit of a different level. He just doesn't feel it consistently enough. You guys getting anything different?
I was just kind of basically just getting this. The conversations and things with him are good, but what's really popping out is it feels like you were saying, that there's no action, there's no follow through. And I kind of feel like with that, it's more of a dragging backwards more than a movement forward. So I would say,
let Peter Pan play.
Yeah, exactly, that type of thing. So I probably wouldn't.
I'm also kind of getting he's kind of more like a sly personality, like, I swear I've changed this time, and then a couple months later, he's kind of like, no, just kidding, like, I'm the same immature guy that I was.
Yeah.
But super attractive. But it's fun and it's great.
But it just feels like that push and pull back and forth, and I feel like you'd be better off maybe, just kind of keeping him on the back burner as friends, but I definitely feel like it actually kind of feels about like 6 months out, I feel like potential for somebody else coming in. So I want to say follow that.
I would agree with that. I would say, just the way I handle things, toy with it, have fun with it, but be realistic. Don't have amnesia. And then when you need to clear it out of your energy so that something better can come in, then do that.
Okay. No, it's not much in my energy. It's just casually back, and I want to know what his intentions were. His
intentions are definitely that he does feel pulled to you and he wants to explore that, but he's also inconsistent for sure. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. I know you have something bigger coming though. Thanks. Okay. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think we'll take one more. I think I said. Okay. We have another call. Hello, caller. Are you there? I think we lost that one. Next one. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Hi, how are you? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Laura. I'm calling from Colorado.
Okay, what's your question?
So, we're moving out of state, but in the meantime, I was going to school, and I'm just wondering kind of what our money situation is going to be, and me going back to school or finding a job, or it's kind of up in the air right now since this kind of was jumping.
Right. Okay. What I'm really feeling is that you may need to work some. I don't feel school full on. I feel like you may very well be going full time, but you may also have to have something part time going on. And I think that you should be very careful that it isn't a very chaotic, type of an atmosphere where there's a lot of immature energy, like heaven forbid there would be a bunch of kids around or something like that. That would not be good for your energy. I think you need to find something you're going to be able to do part-time that's actually going to energize you, even if it were something random that you never do, like working in a spa front desk, being around healing energy, something like that would be wise.
I got exactly the same thing. I'm actually seeing a lot of like yoga happening and a lot of energy movement, like good feeling energy movement. And I feel like the schooling thing is, it's like it can happen again, like it's there to happen again. But I also kind of feel like that's more further out. Like the work part kind of needs to take place first.
Good. You getting anything different on this, or should we move
not really.
on?
Pretty much the same.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's what you can expect.
So
That's what would be best.
A time frame of when I would find a part-time little thing then?
It really feels like within the first 3 to 4 months of you being there and making the move.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pretty immediate that would need to happen. Okay. Thank you so much for your call. Many blessings. Good luck with that.
Sure, thanks.
Okay, take care. All right, we are going to move into a little bit more of the topic here, and then I'm going to be taking some of the questions from Facebook and text. Callers, feel free to continue to call in. Again, if I cannot get to everything, you can send a one-question email read, into Rivera Psychic Medium.com. Okay, so we're talking about our own personal development and encouraging other people to examine their own intuitive development and be mindful of others, especially children, and where they might be with their supposed gifts. We're also talking about the reality that these are not gifts, that psychic ability, mediumistic ability, empathic ability is involuntary and everybody has it, just to different degrees. And we've learned to block it to different degrees. So I'm a little bit curious with the two of you here.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that you had something interesting going on. Your family certainly knew that you had something a little bit different going on.
A little bit.
When you were little, what the heck did you think it was for? And did you have any plans on using it for anything?
I always just thought, I was like the different kid, the weird kid, like I'm into ghosts and all this stuff, and my friends aren't, and they kind of look at me like I have 6 heads because, we're in Catholic school. But no, I had no idea what it was for, what it was, really.
So you didn't think you were ever going to be really using it?
No.
You didn't look at other psychics and say, I'm going to do that?
No, not until I was like a teenager. But like I said, when I was younger, I had no idea what was going on.
It's kind of similar, but with me, I always had this like really, I call it a ridiculous drive to just help people. I was always the kid who like would see an old lady trying to cross the street and I would go and help her, or somebody had a paper route and I would go help and then I ended up taking it over. I was always a very helpful, honest kid. And I think with having that ability to be able to know things with claircognizance, as we call it, the great knowing, like almost seems like right out the womb with me half the time. Mm-hmm. And then being able to put that in certain areas and then just helping people in general, no matter what it was. And then I was also the kid that would sit there and line up the teddy bears and do school or doctor or whatever. But as I got older, I was like, I do not want to be a school teacher.
Yeah, I'm not touching
I do not want to be a doctor.
None of this is
Stay away from
It's never going to happen.
But I always had this drive to help people throughout my whole life. And it really, I have to say, it wasn't until I was about maybe 20. I moved out and everything on my own, and it got stronger and everything just increased. And if I didn't help somebody, I was going to burst.
I would look around, and I had a lot of that too, that hypersensitivity to the needs of others. Yeah. And I couldn't sleep at night if I knew there was starving people, and I stopped eating meat. When I was about 13, I didn't touch it for like 16 years. And, I was into animal rights and looking into the meat factories and putting the bumper stickers up all over, the school. And I was just so upset all the time by things that were going on. But I also had, like this tremendous power to go out and to help people. And I recognized that, and I used it as much as I could. I would say that looking around and looking at all the other professions that were available out there, the big thing for me was seeing Lilydale, the largest spiritualist community in the world. And I just assumed I would be there one day giving readings, making pottery with a head wrap on and maybe a crystal ball. And I didn't fully understand what that was going to mean. But as I got older, I actually pushed it away. I learned that it wasn't healthy for me because nobody was helping me to deal with all of the abilities as they got stronger. So I pushed it away, I shoved it, back in the closet, and I, went for a degree in journalism, and eventually it has a way of coming back around. It's not the kind of thing that you can snuff out. That is never going to happen. So I think we all just really need to find our outlet, whatever that's going to be, and allow it to grow. And you heal yourself, and then you start healing other people, What are you guys planning on doing with it now that you understand what you have? Where do you feel like it's taking you in the future? Well, that's a great question because it changes all the time.
It is.
Am I psychic to know?
I know. What are you, like, psychic? That you're going to be able to know where you're going?
I'd say definitely continuing with, the assistant teaching and helping people actually know what's going on with them. But I'm also feeling very drawn to more of like the healing side of things, but I'm not quite sure like what direction to go in. Like, I kind of feel like there's, I don't know, this like niche I still have to find, and everybody kind of falls into like their specialty, it seems. I just kind of haven't discovered mine yet. So.
Okay. Mine is definitely a lot with the assistant teaching, with helping people moving forward, not just getting people in here, with the expansion, everything, getting them to the locations and everything, but it's also putting them on their path, really, to help them find their spiritual way, their spiritual path and what direction they are supposed to go. Right now, my guide threw me back into heavily in crystals. So I'm going more towards in the healing aspect with that, with teaching that class, but then teaching, helping with everything here too. So it's definitely teaching. It's definitely getting people in there and letting them know that they're not alone in this. There's so many people who keep it to themselves, and even being on the radio, this is one way we get to actually tell people, like,
right. All of these shows get archived and they're up on Google once they're done, and people, or YouTube, whatever, Google. My life just revolves around Google. Cut me in Google words would come out. I think that it all breaks down to healing one way or another. Healing yourself and then healing others through this, including all the disorders that come along with it. Okay, so people should really be careful. We have a great lecture that goes on here called Empathic Means. People with empathic ability often suffer, from a lot of disorders, depression, anxiety, fibromyalgia, ADHD. So do children, and learning how to get those energies in check can also help them to come away from those disorders and those medications, and it's all really the same ball game. So this is really important for our own health. So I know we want to get back to some callers that we have here, and then I'm going to take some here from text and Facebook. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Tanika, and I'm calling from New York.
Okay, great. What's your question?
I have a question about my love life. I wanted to know if you guys see me reconnecting ever with someone in my life by the name of Nick. We separated in August 2014, and we had talked about.
That's good. Okay, hold on. So Nick, we see you ever getting back together with Nick? Not so much. No.
I feel like it needs to stay in the past where it is.
Yeah, no. I feel like you're looking for something else, and I think that Nick brought to the table a couple of these characteristics, but it doesn't feel like it's actually where it's at, okay, for lack of a better. It just really seems like this is not something that is worth revisiting, and I'm supposed to say it this way. All of the answers that you need are already there. If you were to go back and examine this relationship, you really don't need to actually play it out again. Okay, so I think that it would be time to look at maybe some of his characteristics, also his appearance. Okay, some personality stuff going on. And keep in mind that somebody will be coming up in the future that might have some of this also within themselves, and you could have a lot of appeal and draw to that. Okay, sometimes people are put on our path to wet the palate and get us ready for the real deal. Okay, and so you'll get like 5 different versions of them before you get the actual person you're supposed to be with. Okay, so that's more what he feels like. Do you guys have anything?
I just keep hearing the D sounding name, like when you said somebody else coming forward, I'm hearing a Derek, a Daryl, a Darren, like some sort of a name along those lines. So I would look out for that. Tall, good-looking guy, got a nice ching smile, when he smiles. So I would maybe move forward, look more towards that versus looking behind you, because I feel like this is really needs to be behind you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say just start thinking about what you really want, set your intentions, and then you can manifest, this person coming forward for you.
Ding, 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 manifestation, okay? Not asking, not praying, not hoping, claiming what it is that you want to attract to you in the world by thinking on it several times a day for at least a few weeks, okay? Come up with a nice list and stick to that list. Okay, thank you so much for your call. Okay?
Okay.
Okay,
right.
Good luck. Thank you. Many blessings.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to move on to a couple other questions we have here. So we have one question coming in, looks like through text. Okay. I had an experience a few years ago where I was sleeping and I left my body. I went out of the window into a tunnel. Ding, ding, ding. Astro travel. Okay. First sign that you're astro traveling is the tunnel. I went out my window into a tunnel going upward where there were purple and pink lights, but no faces. I heard messages telling me how loved I was. Then I returned to my body the same way. I woke up with total recall and peace. Oh, and then he says down here at the bottom, astro travel, angel experience, what do you think? Well, it's kind of all the same thing, because once you get out there, you're communicating with a lot of higher dimensional beings. So yes and yes.
Yeah, I agree. When you said purple and pink lights, I actually got goosebumps.
Yep.
I'm hearing a grandmother too. There's a grandmother kind of almost like pulling him in that direction as well, because it feels like wherever that was at that point in life, I kind of feel like there was possibly a road that he could have went down that was wrong, or somewhat of a bit of an issue that may have happened. So it's like they wanted to pop in there and correct it before anything really took place. But so I'm hearing a lot with Grandma, and I'm getting roses. I don't know if her name was Rose or if there's a lot of roses, like she loves roses. Definitely pink ones, but a lot of love to you there.
I'm feeling too like this may have been around the time of a lot of change, or even possibly a passing, okay, of someone, even a pet or a family member close to you. We have to remember that there are pivotal points where we increase in our ability, and once you do that, you might start to see more changes when you're sleeping. So you may be astro traveling and waking up with things like sleep paralysis and sleep apnea. A lot of that is also connected to astro travel. So yeah, it's definitely a new beginning. Once you get started on that journey, you never kind of go back. So your life, I'm sure, has been very interesting ever since. But yep, both. Okay, thank you very much for that question. I have another one here coming in through text. My boyfriend is taking his parents to court for abuse. Do you think there will be a good outcome? Let's see what we get with this. I feel possibly the mother being present and the father not being present. Okay, so it seems like not everybody being there. Now, I don't know if they're supposed to be coming in separately or if it's because one is sort of dodging, okay, and then the other one is coming in. But there seems to be quite a lot of back and forth. There also seems to be a female who would be taking on a very innocent tone, using a lot of excuses about mental health problems and health issues that I had, and I think that you should be prepared in whatever way you need to be for that type of an argument.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot of hard feelings around this. Like the energy is just so heavy, and I kind of feel like that the focus really, even though this is happening, there needs to be some focus on some positivity. Where he is now, the type of person he is now, the good that he's had in his life and everything. I feel like he needs that more positive encouragement, and like you were saying before, manifesting things. I think we need to manifest a lot of good for him, because this is going to be a bit of a rough road.
I also want to say emphasis on making sure you have everything legal tied together. I want to say documentation and, any sort of proof that he can pull together. I feel like there's a strong emphasis on that. And, there might be, some some issues coming up, with that kind of legal trouble tied in. They're kind of going to question his validity, I guess.
No, what I'm feeling about this too, I'm just supposed to say is, expect maybe a quarter of a turnout of what you might like to see. okay, as far as, financial or any kind of prosecution going on here. And you have to be realistic that you're doing this, or that your source of doing this, your drive should be to get your liberation, okay, to get your peace, to fight for the justice that is deserved. And then I feel like you're supposed to, while you're sort of making an example out of them, okay, you are also supposed to go out and tell this story to make sure that other people know this type of thing is not just going to fly. We're not just going to let it go. Okay, so there's a bigger picture to all of this, and this is really part of your boyfriend's journey, is that he fights the good fight because he has to, okay, for his own salvation. And then I feel like let it go and get the healing, and that will be the most important part of this story to help others along. And I see a lot of branching out going on with that. Okay, I do want to get to a couple callers that we have here. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Tasha. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Okay, and what's your question?
My question is about romance. Just wanted to know if you saw anyone new, and if so, would it be serious?
Experience?
Serious.
Oh, serious. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see what we're getting with this. I do feel somebody new coming in, but I want to say that we could take this anywhere from within the next month to a year out. There is a ton of free will going on right now, and there's a ton of motion back and forth. So this person has a lot of change going on with career, and also leaving something from the past behind. Possibly there's a child connected to that, so energetically more so than literally. And you will also have to do the same thing. I feel like it's going to have a lot to do about your energy and also positive thinking. When your positivity seems to fluctuate, things tend to be staved off for a while longer. So try to stay positive and focused on where you're going and what you want.
Yeah, I was getting more like the 6 to 9 month mark. So like Ivy said, I feel like there is things that have to be sorted through and worked out. I am getting darker hair, darker eyes. He does feel really good for you, though. I just want to say, you're going to balance each other out well. But definitely, take time. And I want to say set your boundaries in the beginning for what you want.
You said he has a child?
I said there could be connection to him needing to release some energy from a previous partner who may have a child, or there could be a child connection there, possibly even to him.
Okay.
Well, what I'm right in exactly where you two are, but what I'm getting is more his personality, and I'm seeing a lot of laughs. I'm over sitting here giggling because this guy is pretty funny. But I do want to say too that with that is that it feels like he uses humor to kind of help him to get through things too. So he might be one of those softer souls. I like to look at it where they take things a little bit more to heart, but the humor's there, the intentions are really good, and I definitely see the balance between you, just like Amanda said.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question. Many blessings on that.
Thank you.
Good luck. Take care. I have another one coming in here from a Jamie. This was on Facebook. She wants to know about her spiritual development, her intuitive development. How long did it take before it was second nature with the communication? That's a great question. I want to say that it changes a lot. So for my own self, from childhood to now, what I noticed was that the communication was crystal clear, and then it was muddled because I let society block me. Well, I had to take responsibility for that. Okay, so I blocked myself because of what was outside of me from time to time. Also, as I got older, I was blocking myself because I wasn't able to handle the information. It didn't feel right, and I didn't have an outlet for finding balance in that. And then when I got back into it, it was crystal clear again. But the blocks had to be removed in order for it to flow. So it's really about your choice. It's also about being grateful for what's coming through, never rushing it, because once ego gets involved, it is the ultimate block.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely completely agree with that. I know it varies depending on what I have going on in my life from time to time. So I definitely know that I block communication sometimes when I'm kind of being a negative Nancy. But, working through it and then kind of figuring out, there's no point in dwelling on the negative because it's not going to bring anything good. Once you work past that point, I feel like I'm at a good point right now where, it is kind of second nature. Like I don't even have to think about it much. Like I can get answers that pop in, even quickly with meditation.
Yeah, I'd have to say that the connection between the communication really increased once I started plug taking classes here at the academy with level 1 psychic mediumship and then moving into level 2, because a lot of the lessons that Ivy teaches with the Meet Your Guides courses and stuff like that is really how to connect and how to not have that fear. Fear blocks so much, and that was kind of my issue too growing up, is that when I would see so much good and wanting to do good, I would actually end up seeing a lot of negative as well, and that's what really kind of freaked me out. And I didn't want that to increase. But once you let go of that, it's so much better and it's so more clear. Like once you establish that connection, you know who your workers are with you on the other side and everything like that. Like it becomes so clear. But definitely for myself, whenever I need something I have to work on and whatever, oh yeah, I'm not a good listener and they like to kick my butt. So
it's a real back and forth type of a situation. How much time do we have?
We have 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
We have 3 minutes. Okay, well, that doesn't leave us with a whole heck of a lot. I do want to answer just one more here. This woman says, I'm so exhausted from financially struggling to support my family. Is there any relief in sight? Very tired. I just feel very tired from this particular question. I'm feeling like a little bit more training. Okay, it would be great if you could get that under your belt, and I understand that might seem like it's impossible. This is not something that you could do right now, or you have a million reasons why you can't go back. I'm going to say that within the next month, though, it's going to be very obvious to you that God, the universe, your spirit guides, your loved ones on the other side, are going to be sending you messages about the path that would be best for you to take, and you may have to make some leaps in blind faith to get out of this pickle.
I also feel like ask for help. Like I feel like there's some sort of assistance or maybe even somebody else to help take on some of that burden. Like I feel like it shouldn't be all on you and it's just weighing you down, and like Ivy said, just that exhausted feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's no way to go through life. You need to ask for help
and allow it too, because that's the only thing I keep hearing is help. But it's not just asking, it's allowing. So a lot of the times we kind of get to the point where we want what we want and we want it the way we want it and everything else. But you have to allow and you have to accept it as well. So definitely let the people who can help you help you.
Put pride aside, okay? And definitely a need for more quiet time for sure, to listen to the messages that are coming through in your head, because I also feel a lot of headaches are actually coming from, and people need to pay attention to the ringing in the left ear, the ringing in the right ear, and headaches and things like this. It's messages coming through to give you assistance that you're not receiving. So quiet time, meditation, even motion meditation, driving, listening to quiet music, turning your phone off. The answers will come through if you allow for more of that. Okay, well, we are going to have to wrap up the show, but real quick, what do you have to say to people, okay, who think that maybe they have some kind of ability going on? Any recommendations for them, or people who are around kids?
I would say with the kids especially, one point I want to make is just simply that don't block it. Don't shut them down. Let them explore. Let them use their intuition. Let them express themselves, because the more they hold it in, the more negative it can create and the more it can really get worse. So you want to let them be kids.
Amen. I just want to emphasize really reading and researching and kind of see what area you're drawn to, see if there's local classes that you can take or Skype into Ivy's classes. It's just really, whatever piques your interest, I feel like grab that and you can start that way.
Start there. Too many people, I love how you said that, too many people are like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what it means. Who cares? Go to yoga. Go to a meditation group. They're free. They're $10, whatever. Go get a meditation CD. Pick up a book. Spirit is going to lead you one step at a time in blind faith. But when you don't take that step out in blind faith, you become blocked and nothing can come through and you're not receiving the direction that's being given. So you definitely want to stay open by just jumping into whatever, tasting everything. And we certainly encourage people to come here. Okay, to the Ivy League Psychic Academy.com. Look up classes. I'm Ivy Rivera. You can find me on Facebook, and you are?
Teresa Matuzak on Facebook.
Amanda Friedman Psychic Medium on Facebook.
Take care of each other. God bless.
Bye. Good night.
The warm weather is here, so let's drink up every second of it together. As always, Tim Hortons will bring the drinks, like our delicious iced coffee. Now try a small vanilla, mocha, or hazelnut for just $1. They're perfect for hitting up the local skate park, taking in a baseball game, camping in the great outdoors, stargazing with friends, road tripping through the mountains, or barbecuing on a perfect Saturday afternoon. So get to Tim Hortons quick, because there's no better time to get outside and enjoy a $1 iced coffee. Wherever the warm weather takes you. At participating U.S. restaurants for a limited time.
Panera now delivers, so you can order good, clean food right to your office, or door, or porch, or backyard, or front yard, or apartment, or dorm, or castle, or shop, or worksite, or wherever. For lunch, dinner, and everywhere in between. Click the banner to order or visit PaneraBread.com. Participating locations only. Panera. Food as it should be.